to Palmetto Life. Wednesdays are for the kiddos here on Palmetto Life. Our friend Karen Coltrane, the president and CEO of the Children's Museum of the Low Country, is here to share about some winter fun happening at the museum. Welcome back, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
We made it through the storm.
Yes, we made it through the storm.
That was crazy. That was crazy.
Yeah, there's still a little bit of snow in some corners at the museum in the back that we're watching.
See, but the kids loved it. We always talked about on this segment how the kids love the fake snow, so they finally got to see it.
They got the real thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was great.
Memorable times for everybody.
It was great, and everybody was ready for our Pirate and Princess event because they were ready to get out of the house on Saturday, and it was safe to kind of drive around. So we had a full house, and it was a great event. So I know I was talking about it here before we went, but we are now open from 9 to 10 for members, and we opened everybody at 10. And so that hour is kind of special. And on our big event days, our Super Celebration Saturdays, we're doing free breakfast for members during that time. So we had a big turnout for that.
Yeah, we have some pictures as well of this. We got to look at the little kids because they looked adorable. Oh, these aren't even little kids. These are adults.
Little kids. In fact, I'll tell you, this is some of my team members, and the 3 princesses there are my business school students. 2 of them from Scotland and 1 from England. And they're over here enjoying everything in the United States, and they came to me and said, well, what would it be like to volunteer at the museum? So this was their first go at it as princesses, and they pulled it off. The kids were mesmerized just with our dinosaur, and Bluey's popular. So we have big nice Saturdays at the museum.
So much fun.
It was fun.
Yeah, we got a lot of other fun things happening.
We do.
When it comes to winter events at the museum.
Yeah, so every month is something, and I'm just going to tease a little bit now with more details to come, but we're doing a Swifty event the end of February.
You're going to have the line around the museum.
We will see, possibly. But we've got all kinds of fun stuff. I won't give it all away yet, but just mark your calendar later in February. Check the website, Swifty. If you've got a little Swifty fan in your house, or if you are one, and you have a little kid, because it does take a little kid. So if you need to go get a niece or a neighbor, you can do that. It'll be a really great event there.
Awesome.
So one of my, I think I mentioned her last time I was on, one of our educators, Misty's heading that up, and she is a die-hard Swifty. So the event is being planned by people who know.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
that's what you need.
Who are not necessarily me.
Yeah.
But this week I'm going to shift gears a little bit because, you know, I'm nerdy and I find a cool study that I think parents might want to know about. I kind of bring it to you. So I found one that I thought was very timely and interesting, and it was performed by a group called Talker Research, and I kind of investigated them. They were hired by a toy company to commission this. So I always, watch that and understand who's paying for the research, how is it biased in any way. But this really had some eye-opening stuff that I thought was interesting. And that is that half of parents, just a little under half, are concerned that artificial intelligence is going to impact their children's ability to get a job. And just almost half again are concerned that it's going to impact their children's ability to be creative.
That's frightening.
Yeah.
I never even thought about, not being able to have jobs in the future for the kid. Like, that's something, it's really scary to think about.
Well, workforce development starts right about at Children's Museum age, because by the time kids get, unfortunately, especially for STEM programs, girls check out before the end of elementary school, by the end of middle school, and so work has to start to get kids excited about these different learning areas way younger. And so getting kids excited about learning. And to me, I'm not as afraid of AI as maybe some of the people in this, but I use it all the time. I use it in that business school class. I know a lot of teachers professors have said no, but I feel like these guys are going to be in the workforce, and it's going to be as ubiquitous as your calendar. I mean, your calendar, your calendar, but calculator. I mean, it's just another tool. But it was really interesting that parents are picking this up. And the piece that totally blew me away, so let me get my numbers right here, but they surveyed 2,000 parents. So this was a significant survey. And they came back that they're afraid 45% are afraid that AI might harm their children's ability to generate new ideas and original thoughts. That's a very fair concern. And what I think parents will probably need to do is, like social media, get themselves educated on what AI can do, and then find ways to show their children to use it to enhance their creativity, because that is also a possibility. Yeah.
I feel like I do not know much about AI at all. I just have not touched it. A lot of my friends, use it for funny things or looking up different things on the internet. I just have not, started with that. What would you tell parents whose kids are using it right now? Is it something they should try to stop, or is it something they should just get more educated on?
I think they need to get more educated because it depends on the child and it depends on what they're using it for. But what I like is that it can get you the answers quickly to simple things, so you can go then above and beyond. So what I mean, an example I can think of off the top of my head is, it used to be we had to memorize like all the counties in our state or whatever. I don't know if you had to do that up in Connecticut.
I still know that song, 50 Nifty.
United States from 13
all that
original
stuff,
colonies. Yes, I do too. I was telling somebody the other day, I have to Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, I almost sing it. But you don't want me to sing. But at any rate, we don't have to burden our mind with that because it is right there.
Wow.
So now what we can do, we can think about things from a more generative process and start to understand issues and think about it more broadly. So it can be helpful. But what I thought was really interesting was parents in the survey were also asked what's the most essential skills their kids need, and this was something I wanted to kind of draw out. 69% said creativity. They want their children to be creative. 63% said problem solving was most important, and another 63% really put behind social skills. So social skills, problem solving, and creativity. Well, that is exactly, when you talk to employers, what they're looking for in grown people for employees. Those are the #1 skills. It's not knowledge content. Because they figure we can teach you that, what you need to know. And what you need to know changes. I mean, when we're teaching, now the counties don't change too much, like we were talking about, but other facts do, and or evolve, or they don't become important anymore, and something you learned, like, isn't important later, or you can, so AI can kind of be that sort of assistant, I think, and allow us to then build off of that and get creative. But social skills, I don't ever think a computer really helps you with that. You've got to be interacting with other people. Problem solving, again, when kids are young, it's that physical movement of things to create that problem solving. So then the big disconnect I see is if you look at K through 12, we're testing on knowledge. We're not testing on these things that parents say is most important and employers say is most important. So it's just something we need to think about as society. But I was impressed to see the numbers of parents who want their children to be creative and creative problem solvers. That's literally our mission at the museum. So that warms my heart.
Definitely. It's definitely not the last time we'll be talking about this at all. So I'm sure we'll have many more conversations about this. We're out of time though, Karen. Thank you so much, as always, for being here. We'll see you back next week.
See you next week.